Well, this is a little progress today on the pile that's been in the garage. Dragging this 400 out of here, and the 327 that was sitting on the garage floor, that's now been binned up, and it's got roller skates. So it's a dent. It's a dent in this pile of stuff that I gotta like minimize and get through. It's not a big deal, but you know, when you got a lot of other stuff going, it's just sometimes kind of like, when am I going to find the time? Anyway, nice dent in the pile. Hey, clean oil dripping out of this old filter, this old percolator that's been on here since probably, I don't know, the 90s. And there's clean oil on the inside. I'm actually going to cut this filter open and see what's going on. This is a Chevy 400, or 400, as you'd say in my old neighborhood. And it's been bored 40 over. It's kind of rusty on the inside. I spent a lot of time earlier this spring cleaning the rust from the bores, trying to get it freed up. It's mostly surface rust, so I'm actually going to see if I can save this motor, because the bores are mostly in pretty good shape. I only got a little bit of pitting on one of them, and I think it may just be savable. And I'm thinking of doing a junkyard build with this motor, probably just a hone, maybe run the rings a little wide for some nitrous, but we'll see. I bet you I could probably hone it a couple thou over, loosen it up a little bit, and loosen up the ring gap, and put this thing back together. At least that's what I'm hoping. We'll see. I'm going to try to spin it over today and see what the bottom end looks like. I had the pan off earlier this spring, but it was dark out and I got oil and antifreeze all over the place. But seeing this clean oil, clean-ish oil, I guess, it's a nice clean red. So I don't know what kind of oil that'd be. I'm going to guess it's probably Rotella. But that's and no water. That's actually pretty comforting, because I want to figure out why this motor got put aside. I picked this thing up for the bargain price of $100. The guy just wanted it out of the way, and of course, like I said, it had been sitting for a while without the heads on it. So the mystery continues. Well, got the pan off, and this is the first time I've seen it with the pan off in daylight, and yeah, got a little rustage in there. She's been sitting with some water in the pan, but I mean, there's still oil in there, and there's still clean metal, like the connecting rods. I don't know if I can get the camera in there to kind of see. I can see it, but where the connecting rods meet the wrist pin, right there, the metal on the wrist pin's clean. So I think I could probably get this thing to rotate. Somebody, stamped each connecting rod, and this looks like it went through a decent rebuild. I think these are Pioneer SPS rod bolts, not sure. I don't know what that little mark means. I've seen it before. I don't think they're stock GM bolts. These, I'm gonna assume they're replacement bolts, because they all have that mark on there. I don't know, maybe somebody can help out in the comments with that one. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too terrible, except for this. But you can kind of see right there where it was dipping into the water that was in the oil pan, the oil pan. So I think this just might come apart and just might be in salvageable condition. Which, if it is, that'd be kind of really cool. So I think I'm going to try to pull the crank out today while I still got some daylight. All right. Well, I got the all the main caps pulled off, cleaned everything, lubed it all up, and started pulling lifters out. And they're rusty. But otherwise fine. Except for that one. This guy right here is just tosti asti spumani, as a good friend of mine would say. it is it's a little, yeah, a little gone. So I think we have our first major clue of why this engine got pulled and put aside. But I think the good news is so far it looks salvageable. This may just turn out to be a decent 511 4-bolt main 400 block. And if that's the case, that's really cool, because I think I've already named it the $100 400. So I guess I'm going to see what else I can do with this motor and maybe make a couple more videos. But here we are. I'm going to pull the cam out next. Well, that is one rounded off cam ski lobe right there. Yeah, that's pretty roached. It's not a performance cam. There's nothing up front that would denote it as such. All the other lobes look to be fine. So who knows? This might have just been like a stock rebuild. I'm kind of curious, so I might measure it just to see if it was a performance cam. But other than that, it's toast. So now I've got a little bit of rust and corrosion left to clean out of these bores. I had gotten really into it on the other side earlier this spring, and you can kind of see these are a lot cleaner than the others. They still have a little ways to go, but I didn't really remove any material. I just removed corrosion and soaked them down with Croil, PB Blaster, diesel fuel. This thing sat for a while with that solution in it, probably a few months. But I have a tool that I made that anybody can make, but I found it to be really worthwhile. And all it is a Stanley blade with a hot glue gun to a popsicle stick. And you know, best part is you can eat a bunch of popsicles and then make a useful tool. This actually works. You got to clean the oil off the blade before you hot glue gun it, but it's a neat little tool, and it allows to clean some of this rust, maybe carbon, gently, because it's tool steel, but the block is hard enough. Unless you really go crazy with this, you're not going to scratch it. You can see this is a brand new blade. It's a brand new blade, and I'm going at it, and it's not really scratching anything. And if it does leave a scratch, it's so minor that it's gonna probably hone out anyway and help with the crosshatch. So and so what I do here is I get off as much material as I can with my little scraper tool here, and then I hit it with a Scotch-Brite. Now this is a new Scotch-Brite, so it should cut right away, but it works really well. I mean, you could just keep Scotch-Briting, but you create high and low spots, in my opinion, and there's barely a ring ridge here. This was bored 040 over, so I want to try to keep the bore as square as possible and retain as much metal as possible. And you can see I've got some pitting down here a little bit, so it remains to be seen whether this will hone out. But it's just, I don't know, I enjoy this stuff. I enjoy kind of doing a little bit of engine archaeology and trying to resurrect something from the dead like this, because this was looking almost like a throwaway and like I'd blown $100, and right now it's looking like, oh well, maybe I got a decent deal. So more later. Now I'm kind of running out of daylight out here, but this is another example of this tool at work. And I'm trying to pull the camera here so I can hopefully get this. You can see it works pretty well. It works even better when you're not trying to film it. Not film it, but use the camera. It works even better when you're trying to. You're not trying. It works even better